Where you
No.
weaned him back to life?
I did. I massaged his balls early on in his life. Not many cats can say that. In fact, he's the only one that can say that, to brag about that. Yeah, my first guy that got me, he was massaging my balls and stuff every day. It was awesome.
He's a good boy.
Yeah, he is a good boy. He's rambunctious little kitten, so I'm glad he's gone to a good home. Thank you to everybody that reached out, too. There were a lot of people that contacted me, and I had nothing to do with it. I wanted nothing to do with it. I was just like, yeah, forward. I'd forward it all to Beth, let her deal with it. But
Lots of interest, though. Warms my heart.
yeah, he's in a good place, and they claim, they're listeners of the show, so they claim that they'll keep people updated and post pics.
And they're keeping the name, Wisp.
And they are keeping the name Wisp.
Excellent.
Yeah, there was talk. I was picking up traces of talk that the name was going to be changed, and I was like, oh man, I mean, it's their cat; they can do what they want with it. But in the end, they decided to stay with Wisp.
Good choice.
Yes. Anyway, wanted to mention that. So congratulations to them and the wee Wisp. God, are you tired of the con yet?
Yeah, the Wrath of Khan.
The Wrath of Khan that's continuing.
Yeah, I think he's demanded to be out of the story. Take me out of the story.
Done.
It's like, okay, stop answering the phone, dude.
Yeah.
Stop going on CNN.
We are private citizens. We want to get out of this controversy now.
Controversy. Did he say that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
My beautiful wife has been insisting that I not respond.
Well,
Of course.
now he's a liar.
Yeah.
Now he's a liar.
Of
I
course.
meant about not responding, not
Right.
about the beautiful wife.
Well, yeah. I may have put words in his mouth. I'm not sure he said beautiful. He might have said my good wife. My great wife has been insisting that I not respond to these conversations and controversy. Of course, she is a woman, so who would listen to her? I have gone rogue on this one. But yeah, he claims he's done talking about it. But dude, he's been on everything.
Yeah.
He needs to be better trained.
He's continuing to go on all these shows, and he can't believe the backlash he's catching. And, he's getting support from tons of people, too, and his wife. And I don't know.
How much is it that he's being pushed by Democrat operatives?
Who knows? But the problem all along was how political it felt. I mean, he got on the stage at the DNC to trash Trump. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, it's a political issue now. It has nothing to do with your kid, or nobody thought your kid wasn't a hero. But it just gets, anytime it gets thrown into this political issue, all of a sudden it's like, ugh, I don't want to hear it. I don't care. By the way, that the Constitution that he pulled out of his jacket was like, if you would like to read my Constitution, Mr. Trump, here you go, and you can have mine. Apparently, that's been a bestseller on Amazon.
Come on.
The sheep nature of people.
Seriously.
Isn't
that
that
little
hilarious?
pocket Constitution?
Yeah,
Right?
you have one.
I do.
You didn't
Amazon.
buy it after Khan showed it on TV.
I did not. I've had it for a long time.
Yeah. I was wondering, who carries around a pocket Constitution besides Jay? Well, Khan does. But in your defense, I think you were using yours back in college to
I had it in law school, in my bag the whole time, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's as far as Amazon.com goes. Amazon, the 52-page pamphlet was in the top 10 best-selling books on Amazon over the weekend.
Seriously, what's wrong with people? Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Not using our Amazon link. Speaking of the Amazon link, Amazon.com, you can go through our portal on DetroitCast.com, and it's a great way to support our show.
Yeah, they'll give us a kickback. So
Get a bit of a kickback. And they have pretty much everything you need.
There is very little Amazon doesn't have.
yeah, it's just funny to watch that. You can tell when there's a slow day in the news cycle, when it's like all of a sudden all the experts are called in to talk about Khan and going head to head with Donald Trump. And
Well, I heard Jeffrey Lord talking about that a couple days ago. He's like, all right, we're done with now the conventions. So we're going to have this little lull as we go into August before the stuff really picks up in terms of the head-to-head and the debates pick up later, and we've got lead up to that. So we're going to have these stories now, and he was predicting that this would be, this would go a good week. A good week of this, yeah.
No kidding. Yeah.
Jeffrey Lord is something else, isn't he? How he just lets
Dude.
water go right off his back, man. Doesn't take anything personal. He has hung in there for months on the Trump train.
Since day one. And I think he's good for Trump for sure.
Very much, because he brings a level-headedness and just like a reason to the policies that Trump is providing. And Trump himself is fucking off his rocker in terms of how he responds to people. So Jeffrey provides like this just calm, steady
Yeah.
response.
Yeah, he never raises his voice outside of that one time when he was yelling at what's his name?
Yeah, Van.
yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah, well, whatever, the one of the Democratic supporters, Hillary Clinton supporters, but which was kind of funny. But yeah, there's a real calmness to him that's likable, and it's just like straight facts. It cuts through all the shit, but it's amazing how many panels I see him on where it's like 6 against 1,
Yeah, he
8
doesn't
against
care.
1. Like, that's terrifying to me. Like, because they're all trying to find that one thing that you haven't prepared for that they can go, aha, what about this? And throw it in your face. And he never seems rattled by that. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, I mean, he just knows the positions and is just like, well, this is what it is. And
Yeah.
he just goes with that argument and takes it to the end.
Here's what he actually said and throws it back in their face. But yeah, I'd like to get him back on. I know we've been reaching out to his people to try to get him back on for a bit, and we'll see if we can't do that. The New York Post released images of Melania Trump
Yeah.
nude,
Yeah.
which is kind of nice. You know, I'll take a look at them if they're out there. Why not, right?
It's a kind of a lesbian type shoot.
Yeah, there's a series of pictures show. This is when she was 25. Yeah, there's a lesbian. woman.
There's the possible first lady. You kidding me?
Isn't that funny?
Oh, Melania.
Well, at 25, trying to make a name for herself in modeling. January 1996 issue of France's Max magazine, which is not around anymore. I guess they went out of business in like 06.
Surprising that's not come out yet.
Yeah. She looks like you'd expect her to look, right? I guess. The shoot was by a French photographer, Alain de Besseville, who said that it took place in Manhattan in 95 as she was establishing herself as a model in the U.S.
That's the possible first lady's ass.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, in all its glory. There it is. There's her titties. Nice. Not once did she seem uncomfortable posing in the nude. He also wanted to celebrate the beauty of the female body, which is great. I want to do that, too. I'm a champion for celebrating the beauty of the female body.
I'm a champion. It's crazy, isn't it?
I think it's important to show the beauty and the freedom of the woman. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I agree, too.
I think every woman should be forced to do that, to
Very
show the art.
artistic.
Yeah, the art
Right.
behind
When
it.
I go, like, anywhere I go on the weekend, I think you go to the mall, I think all those girls should be, for the beauty.
Yeah, the
Although-
beauty of the female body.
Not because I'm a pig, not because I want to see all these naked women.
He
but-
wants to jack off to it later.
Oh, God, Mike. It's not sexual at all.
The post that they ran their headline, you know, they would always get cute with the names of the Ogle office. Yeah, isn't he ogling her? Oogling. Mr. Trump said in a statement, Melania was one of the most successful models, and she did many photo shoots, including for covers in major magazines. This is a picture taken for a European magazine prior to my knowing Melania. In Europe, pictures like this are very fashionable and common. Jason Miller, the senior communications advisor on Trump's campaign, said, their celebration of the human body is art. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. She's beautiful. Agree with him.
Definitely breaking new ground here with possible first ladies.
Yeah, have there ever been
been
first
through this.
ladies that have been nude? Well, Jackie O's Bush ended up.
Oh yeah,
And the
but
Bloids.
that was after. That was when she was with Onassis,
Yeah,
like on
yeah,
his sailboats and shit.
yeah. Nancy wasn't. It. Bobblehead was never nude anywhere, was
No,
she?
but she was allegedly a huge whore.
Yeah,
right,
I
in
think half
Hollywood.
of Hollywood banged her.
Yeah,
Yeah. Was George Washington's wife ever nude? Did she ever do a spread
Martha.
shot? Martha.
I hope not.
Does anyone remember? Was Honest Abe's wife ever?
Mary Todd.
Mary Todd did that
was
one
kind of a
famous
psycho,
photo
but-
shoot, right?
What?
Mary Todd, didn't she do a famous
Right,
spread
right.
leg shot?
Yeah.
Where she was, I think it was in Penthouse, not sure, or Cherry maybe.
Is E googling this?
Mary Todd, Cherry Magazine.
Mary Todd naked. No.
It's an artist rendition. What it would look like. God, the stories are starting to come out on the pilot of the Texas hot air balloon.
Yeah. What do we got?
They're just doing that thing the press loves to do. Just throw this out there in the middle of the interview, an article. You do with this as you might, as you see fit. Well, they're just kind of shitting on him. He's the guy, you know, because 16 people were killed when the hot air balloon hit the power lines.
The wicker went up in flames.
It sure did. He was arrested for driving while intoxicated in 2000, according to police in Missouri. And the Better Business Bureau had warned consumers about doing business with Alfred Skip Nichols after complaints about his balloon company, claiming he was also on probation for involvement with drugs.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Nichols was identified as the pilot by his friend and roommate, Alan Lorette, who said Nichols was a good pilot. That's the only thing I want to talk about. He's a great pilot. And all the other stuff we don't need to discuss. It's none of your
Other
business.
stuff. 16 years ago, you had a
drunk
DUI.
driver,
I mean,
yeah.
and you don't even know. I mean, you gotta look in and see what the blood. You know what I mean? You just don't know the circumstances of that. And drugs. I mean, that could be anything.
He also said there's going to be all kinds of reports out in the press, and I want a positive image out there too. So this guy knows. There's some
Well, that
shit
doesn't. Well, that
coming.
doesn't sound good when you say there's gonna be a lot of crazy shit out there. But
Don't believe everything you hear about Skip.
Or if you do believe all that stuff, just know that he was a good dude too. On
Right.
top of all that, a Missouri police officer told the Associated Press that he was arrested in 2000 on felony driving while intoxicated charge and pled guilty to misdemeanor DWI in 2002. A couple years later, the Post-Dispatch reported in 2008 that's when the Better Business Bureau warned consumers about doing business with him. I guess this was the third time that they were like pissed at him. I guess he wouldn't respond to people that had complaints about his balloon company. So if you complained, he was just ignoring it. They asked him to respond. He was like, I prefer to make no comment about that. And so that's when
Yeah,
they
what
gave
did we
him
say yesterday? He had like a D+ rating.
Exactly.
There was only like 6 complaints or something.
over 3 years. Yeah.
You know.
and what are those complaints? Again, I'd really like to know what the complaints are. You know, a lot of times the people that make complaints.
Yeah, they're just digging. They're just throwing anything at the paper right now, right? I mean,
Anything with his name in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe they're terrible. I don't know. Maybe it was
we need to know. Was there negligence here? What the hell happened? Was this pilot error? Was it overloaded in terms of the weight? What?
Yeah, that's a fair question. I don't know, and I'm sure we'll know. I mean, the NTSB is doing all kinds of research, and they'll know eventually what exactly happened. But
Did they get the black box?
they're searching for the black box. I guess the wicker basket was found like 3/4 of a mile away from where the balloon was found, or something like
boy.
that. Yeah, so they said ground crew members told investigators they launched about 20 minutes after their expected 6:45 time that they were supposed to launch. The balloon traveled about 8 miles from takeoff to crash, and the basket, like I said, was found 3/4 of a mile from the balloon itself. The NTSB recovered 14 personal electronic devices, including cell phones, an iPad, 3 cameras, which they've sent to a lab in Washington for further analysis. I imagine those are just going to be filled with selfies and
Yeah.
aerial shots of the.
Ooh, that's grim.
Isn't that grim? Yeah, but this guy's getting dragged through the mud now, and yeah, bummer.
Skip was poised to make $6,400 on that voyage, that ill-fated voyage.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
$6,400, man. Again, like I would not have paid $400 to go up there with 15 other people.
No way. Yeah, we talked about it last night a little bit. There's no way. Why would you? I would have never thought, even if it was one-on-one, like it was just you and your wife going up, I wouldn't think it would cost $400 to go up for a half hour.
$400
balloon.
each. I wouldn't either.
Yeah, it was per person.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a lot of money. The other story we were talking about last night was Bernie Ecclestone and his mother-in-law.
Keep her.
Yeah, I'm kind of pissed. It sounds like Mr. Dog knew last night that she'd finally been rescued, and I didn't know that, and he didn't tell us while we were
Failed
doing
to
the
mention
story.
it. Yeah, last night apparently she got rescued.
Yeah, like while we were doing the show and in mid-story. So I apologize, but
We try to bring you the most breaking, up-to-date news
Absolutely.
on this podcast,
Well,
on this recorded MP3 file.
I know. Well, I don't want people waking up. They're listening to yesterday's show right now.
Do you think a lot of people
"Oh my
woke
God."
up today, listened, and are worried? Or, like, is that the situation? Like, are they
I
sending
don't-
thoughts
I
out? Are
don't-
thoughts getting sent out? And now
right.
they
People are tweeting right now. People are tweeting about it, and I feel bad. We've given them sour information.
This poor woman, they're worried sick.
Yeah.
Worried our listeners to death.
So last night, what Kadog failed to tell us was that basically stormtroopers stormed the building where she was being held, and they found her all tied up. They still had her like right out of a movie, man.
They tied my hands and put a gag in my mouth.
And they released her into the arms of her family. Ecclestone said that I'm very happy. The last few days haven't been very good.
And under his breath went, fuck.
God damn it. The police officers were fantastic and all that shit. They did an unbelievable job. Mrs. Shunk was freed without having to pay that $36 million. That dude wasn't paying anyway.
Yeah, he wasn't.
What a shock.
Not paying it. The two men that are accused of kidnapping her, one of them's got a nice little shiner and swollen face. I don't know if someone fucking tagged him a few times or what, but they were able to take them down without any shots being fired. They were, I guess, monitoring an app they used, WhatsApp, that they were using. They were able to monitor that and find these guys. The suspects are now in custody. She's in good condition.
I thought this was meticulously planned for years, right?
Right, yeah, for months.
The idea of going up and brandishing weapons and taking a person away, that was meticulous plan in and of itself. And then they used electronic devices, being ignorant to the fact that they could be traced.
Yeah.
Dumbasses.
Well,
But damn, I was looking forward to them getting away with the bags of cash. I wanted to see how that went.
Yeah, well, you've pointed this out, and I think you're 100% right. In a couple of these instances, whether it's terrorists or these guys, it's very easy to pull the thing off eventually, or to get it started. It's very hard to finish the job. That's where the meticulous planning comes in.
Yeah.
Anybody can walk into a bank and just put their hand in their pocket and go, give me all your money. And they'll give you the bags of money, but now what do? How far can you get with the money?
Yeah. How do you open that bag without the paint exploding in your face?
Exactly.
That sort of thing.
Anybody can go up to someone's door, knock on it, and kidnap them at knife or gunpoint. But can you really get the $36 million at the end?
That's why these terrorists, it cracks me up every time I hear, oh, this is so meticulously planned. Dude, they're willing to die. How meticulous does it have to be? Go get some weapons and shoot a bunch of people.
Walk into the door, throw some grenades.
My goodness.
Fire some rounds.
We had 4 people with weapons, and gosh, the coordination that this must have taken. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, not at all.
Takes a fucking death wish and some weapons. Boom, you're done. Takes a truck and a shitload of people in the road, and you can mow them all down, as we've seen.
Are you saying
that willing to die? What the hell?
That we're overusing the meticulously planned tag?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I object.
You know where meticulous planning comes in? Excuse me. Is that story down in Ohio? Was it Pike, Ohio, where that whole family was wiped out and cameras were taken?
Oh yeah. It was like they speculated that it was a pot thing, like they were growing a bunch of weed.
Yes,
and there was a drug. It
went
inspired. Yeah, and it was inspired by maybe people stepping on some drug territory.
Exactly.
But you're right. That whole family got. They haven't caught those guys.
No, gone.
What the fuck?
Like ghosts. They know they went in, and the only people they left alive were a 3-month-old and a newborn. So they're
not monsters, man.
Well, they just went. These people can't identify us. There's no chance that a 3-month-old or a newborn is gonna ID us. But they had to kill the 8-year-old or the 6-year-old, whatever it was, the little kids, because they're like, yep, they've seen us. So we're not leaving that. That's meticulous planning. When you can physically dismantle cameras, take cameras and video equipment with you, and get the fuck out of there. They're
I never
ghosts.
thought I'd ever have to go through something like that.
Oh,
They're ghosts. And that story just disappeared.
Yeah,
that story
right,
was
man.
huge. I mean, that was like 8 members of a family were completely wiped out.
Huh.
Yeah, that story came back up the other day because I think the Nana wants access to the 3-month-old and the newborn.
Yeah.
And can't get it. There's like judges are keeping her away from these kids for some reason. So what's left of the family is like, this is an outrage. She's been through enough. Let her see the kids.
So I suspect Nana was in on it.
I don't know.
Or she's just got a history of her own.
I'm not sure, but they
kind of an effed up family, if I recall.
Yeah, well, I know that there was a lot of people in that community turned on him when they found out about the drugs, the marijuana. I think there were 3 grow places found, and so there was like a local guy that had put up a $20,000 reward, and then he was like, "Yeah, fuck that," and he pulled it down once he found out about the drug stuff. So there is a $10,000 reward, but dude, those people are just gone.
Yeah,
that's meticulous planning.
Yeah, when you mentioned the cameras, had you not mentioned the cameras, I'd be like, I don't know, they just walked in and killed a bunch of people, but I'll give you that.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they did it the right way. I mean, if you're in that line of work.
Yeah.
They wanted to do something horrendous and get away with it. Anyway, did you see the new Michigan uniforms? Football.
I did see the little
uniforms are out?
glimpses that are going around social media.
Yeah, you
I
were
think it's
looking
a
at.
hugely good move for U of M to go back with Nike. I think Adidas did them such a disservice.
Yeah,
It was awful to see their maize, quote unquote, go to highlighter yellow.
yeah,
Like over the last decade, it was ridiculous. Particularly their basketball team, it was like unrecognizable.
Yeah.
like you are bright fucking highlighter yellow. You are not maize. That's the whole thing. You're maize and blue, right? Maize is a certain color. It's not just fucking any yellow. It's a certain yellow.
yeah.
And they
Yeah.
went away from that. So it's good that Nike's bringing
just
that back.
Such a huge fan of Nike. I think this is going to be such a good move for them. Like Michigan being the first school to use the Jordan
I
logo.
don't get that, I guess. That's weird to me. You've got a basketball player on the front of your football jersey.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of weird, but you got to think about kids coming up, what they're going to think is cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have no idea if a kid would think that's cool. I know Oregon is on the map now as a football school and basketball school strictly because of Nike and the shit they've done with their uniforms.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if that's cool, okay.
I think that looks badass, dude. If that's the uniform with the
What's badass about it?
I like the Jumpman above the number like that. If that's what the uniforms are actually going to be. They had the jerseys aren't out yet. They're I think coming out tomorrow.
So there's no swoop on the front of that. There's the Jump Man instead. And when the hell did it become a Jump Man?
Yeah, not just the
I thought
Jordan.
it was just the Air Jordan
yeah, it's a-
insignia.
yeah, Jumpman is kind of lame, isn't it? Anyway, the M-Den, the official merchandise retailer for Michigan, orchestrated a 4-hour welcome rally last night that drew people prepared to shop. And so they opened at midnight and let people come in and get their first stuff. But they didn't have the jerseys or the shoes. I guess there's a special Jordan Michigan shoe coming. And the jersey, which will be out today, and I think, if you're listening Tuesday, it comes out Tuesday. But why wouldn't you have those jerseys
It's curious.
right away? Isn't that kind of weird? I don't know. Maybe that's done for a specific reason. But a number of Michigan celebrities came out. The band always comes out. The dance team, they came out to the M-Den. Harbaugh came out there. Desmond Howard, Lamar Woodley, Jimmy King from the Fab Five
Well, yes.
was out there. Jamie Morris, Marcus Ray. Signing autographs, taking pictures. That's kind of cool. Harbaugh got on stage. This is Coach Harbaugh here. I've lived 52 years, a lot of those years in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I've never seen anything like this. This is big time. Fans came from as far as Ohio and camped out overnight.
God, just
Yeah.
for gear?
Yeah, to be the
crazy.
first in line. Dominic Carter of Columbus, Ohio, was the first. He was the first one in the door at the M-Den. I bleed maize and blue. I wanted to come down here and be with my people. I'm from Columbus, Ohio, and the hate is for real down here. Yeah, what'd you say, E?
Come down. Did he take a weird way to get to Ann Arbor?
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
He knows his geography.
So yeah, they opened the doors at 11:59. The website started selling items at midnight, and then they were, of course, flooded with requests.
Yeah. Are most U of M fans with me on that? Like, I'm not a Michigan fan at all, but I thought that was a travesty what Adidas did to them.
Yeah, but I hate
Am I
it.
overstating that?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you are. I always felt that way. I don't know if I was able to pinpoint it. Maybe back years ago when they first started doing that, it seemed weird to me. Like, I don't know why you'd mess with that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of teams that are doing that kind of thing, so maybe it's just a play for the kids. Because as you mentioned, Oregon was that's like the Mighty Ducks.
I
If you
know.
go back to when we were kids, Oregon Ducks were a joke.
Oh, it was a total joke. It was like this little animated duck, and sometimes they bring that back and use it now, just kind of as a throwback. But it was like Kelly Green and the stupid duck, and
Yeah.
it wasn't even a thought that there was anything cool about that setup. And dude, now I mean they do week to week. It's just you're waiting to see what they're gonna pull out.
Come out with.
And kids are going there because of it,
That's amazing.
unquestionably.
Yeah, I bet. I really think this Jordan brand being the first one with Michigan is going to have a huge impact.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
really do. I think that's going to be big for them. I just was never a fan of Adidas, anyways. So.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just prefer Nike. It just seems to be a sleeker type. The thing about Adidas is they are married to this 3 lines, right?
Yeah.
So they've got to put that in everything. Mm-hmm. And so in all their designs, you have these damn 3 stripes. And Nike
Yeah.
just has the ability to do sleeker shit and
Yeah.
be more creative.
I'm excited to see the jersey. There have been all kinds of pictures that have leaked, and I don't know who's leaking those. If that's partly the
Well, we just
university.
showed
or,
two front and center. Is that not? Is there?
as far as I know, they haven't released the jersey itself yet and what it's going to look like.
I don't think it needs to be much. Like, just do what they just showed. I mean,
Totally.
Don't put a bunch of dumb stripes and shit on it. Just be simple and be blue and maize or whatever the fuck that color is.
Totally agree. Anyway, let's take a quick time out and come back and JonBenet Ramsey. We haven't talked about that.
JonBenet. We happened to bring it up, like, I don't know, 5 shows ago out of the blue.
Yeah.
But it's back in the news.
Yeah, sort of. Her brother is going to do an interview with Dr. Phil
Burke
Ramsey.
Yeah.
Also,
there are those that suspect he was in on it.
I know there
There's
are
something going on.
Yeah, but the tabloids at the time were clamoring for anything.
Yeah.
That was one of those that captured the nation for whatever reason. I don't know if they were just like the perfect white couple or
Right.
but so we'll get to that, and also Driving While Distracted, new CNN special coming up, I think on Saturday night, next Saturday.
You listen up to this story,
Yeah.
son of a bitch.
It's bad, dude. There are humongous swaths of the population that are using their phones. And
Worse. Yeah, and you can totally tell, man.
Yeah.
You pull up next to people, you can tell the way they're looking. They're trying to be sly about it.
Yeah.
You do the Michigan left and the people going the other way, you can see them looking. It is bad.
I'm kind of guilty of it, too. We'll discuss when we come back.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zodford and Holly, and I'm pumped up to tell you about our Zodford exclusive employee pricing for everyone plan. Right now, through the end of the month, everyone gets employee pricing at Zodford and Holly. What's the hook, you ask? There's only one. You can't save here if you don't drive here. So jump in your old hoopty, get to Zodford at I-75 and exit 98, and roll out in your fresh new Ford that you just got for the same price as a Ford employee. Only at Zott Ford. That's SZOTT.
Yeah, which in fairness, she kind of is.
Kinda was.
If you're pageanting your kid,
Yeah.
you're kind of a weirdo. No offense
Well,
to
she
anybody
was a
that's doing it.
pageant person herself, wasn't she? So she's kind of like living through her daughter then.
Yeah, yeah. She was initially suspected because of the handwriting thing. Many suspected the killer was someone in the family, as they claimed there were no footprints in the snow. Remember that? So they figured there'd be a trail of footprints, and those weren't there. Most of the stories focused on John and Patsy, but some went as far as to claim that JonBenét's... what's wrong, E?
It's my computer.
Okay.
Fucking
Is it making noise? Yeah. I thought I heard something. That it was Burke. Oh, Burke would have done it. But then he was exonerated by DNA evidence in 99. Then there was the private investigator, Ollie Gray, who said he knew who the real murderer was, and he fingered Michael Helgroth.
Gross.
I know. February 13th, 97, Alex Hunter, who was the district attorney at the time of the murder, held a press conference where he spoke of JonBenét's killer, unknown killer. The list of suspect narrows. Soon there will be no one on the list but you. Helgoth died of an apparent suicide 2 days later.
Ugh.
Yeah. A few years after his death, however, he was cleared when it was revealed that none of his DNA was found under JonBenét's fingernails or in her underwear.
God.
I know.
My Lord.
terrible
There's a
story.
creepy Santa Claus involved, too. I remember that.
Was there?
Yeah.
Were they trying to finger Santa
I
Claus
think
for
they
this?
were. There was some creeper looking Santa Claus guy, but he was cleared. He was a weird looking guy, so they're like, oh,
Yeah.
it was him.
Look at the family picture, too.
Yeah. God, that
All
little
in there.
girl, that little girl.
I know, but it just, at their
could do that?
Christmas photo, make sure the tree is in the background.
Definitely makes you hate white people.
Yeah. Oh, honey, get your cross out. Make sure your cross is on display for the family photo.
Yeah, they are a nice looking family.
Yeah. Well-to-do.
I remember very much too the house being described as a Tudor style house. Do you remember that over and over?
Oh, really?
The Tudor style house on such
I don't
and
remember.
such lane.
I don't remember that. Yeah. So anyway, we'll have to wait till September to see if there's any breaking news in that story. I don't know why I'm still fascinated by it. Kids die every day in grisly ways.
Yeah.
Why did that one? Why of all things did that one capture the?
Partly because it's like the perfect white family you just described.
Yeah, yeah, and that's sad.
Yes.
I mean, it's terrible. You read about these. You hear about some black kid sitting on her porch with her grandpa, and all of a sudden takes a bullet in the face, and it's like, yeah, it's news for an hour.
Yeah.
And then they move on and hear something like this, goes, and it's just reported on ad nauseum for years.
Books written about it.
Books, yeah. It's incredible. One of the things that's becoming a real problem in this country, and we all recognize it, I mean, this crosses party lines, is the driving while distracted. We've given E quite a bit of shit for this early on when you first started.
Oh, yeah. No, because he was open about, oh, yeah, I just text. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Dude, I don't give a fuck.
Again, I really think that got overstated what I really said. All that came from was a joke. As you guys joke. No.
I don't think it was a
no,
joke,
and that's where no. But where it really came from was me admitting that me and Ty have joked with each other like, yeah, something's probably gonna happen someday, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
then
gonna
we
stop
went through the
texting.
whole conversation. You were like, whatever. I don't care if it does.
That's not real.
Dude, you did in your retarded way. You went through this
Okay.
whole argument and ended with, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if it does.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, Miguel?
No, absolutely not. That's 100%.
I understand.
I thought we even ran a scenario where he wipes out a bus full of kids
Yeah,
or
he
something.
doesn't
and
give a
was like,
fuck.
Fuck, whatever, dude. Whatever.
Whatever. Did my text go through?
Yeah, that would be more important, but
Good to know that wiping out a bus full of school children would be
like, depends on if
that
it
would stink. E.
if it went to a hot chick and it got delivered in time. I'm just kidding.
Driving while distracted. There's a TV special that airs on CNN coming up August 6th,
Probably
which is
gonna be
Saturday
pretty
night.
damning.
The problem has gotten so big. I was reading this article that highways now, as we've seen across the country, are putting the "Don't Text and Drive" billboards up. 46 states and D.C. have laws banning texting and driving. Who are the holdouts?
Right.
Who are the holdout
Thank God for
states?
those
that are like, I
signs.
don't know. Yeah, Alaska maybe. Would you do Alaska? Maybe a Delaware or a Maine.
Maybe, yeah.
Where it's
See a Montana.
yeah. There you go. We'll get into the Wyoming, Montanas of the world. Sure, might not be so critical.
How's Guam feel about this?
I think they're on the fence, but they're leaning.
Yeah.
They're leaning towards banning.
It's so Guam.
Yeah. U.S. Virgin Islands is absolutely for texting while driving. I don't know why they've taken that position, but they're very, very in favor.
Interesting.
They almost encourage texting while driving. For some reason, it's weird. Strictly a U.S. Virgin Islands thing, though.
Huh.
Let's see. The issue isn't just talking about texting anymore. Oh, you got them there?
Montana, baby.
Missouri. Okay.
Surprising.
Where else is that? Arizona, E?
Arizona, Montana, Texas, Missouri. It's still legal. How can it be legal?
Good call on Montana. It's not just texting, though. They say drivers are on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google Maps, Spotify, YouTube, and Pokemon Go.
Only one in there to me that's it's kind of stupid is Google Maps. Well, yeah, of course people are on Google Maps.
I'm guilty of the Google Maps.
But the other
And-
stuff, I mean.
I've definitely almost run off the road
Yeah, trying to
look
punch
at
in
my
an
Google
address.
Maps. Yes, I have.
Yeah.
In fact, the other day I was coming back from the Northville area, and it was one of those
You
where
need to
traffic's
use your
touch and
map?
go.
Really, Miguel?
Yeah,
You
because
don't know Northville to Franklin?
No, I
9
do.
different ways?
I do, but there was traffic accidents, and so I was like, okay, is there going to be? I use it to see if there's like an accident or if something's going on if I can't go that way. And anyway, I look down and I look up and I'm like, I'm just rolling through a red light. Nice.
Whoa. Whoa.
One of the, but it was in traffic, so it was people were. I wasn't like screaming through a red light, but I was distracted looking at Google Maps. And I definitely see people. I see people now that I'm looking at Snapchat, Instagram more.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I see countless people driving down the road, filming themselves wearing some goofy bee face,
Singing music, stuff like that.
like crazy. Driving down the road, just cruising down the road.
So is this special just going to be like, here's people driving drunk, and they'll have a bunch of people after
Right, and
drinks,
then they'll show you how this is as bad or
yeah,
worse.
exactly. Is that because we've seen that, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think the
know.
signs on the highway are doing anything about it either. Because
Right.
you're not seeing them, for one, because you're texting, but
I think texting's way worse.
Yeah.
it's terrible.
Way worse than drinking and driving, even. Recently, a man was accused of crashing his vehicle into a parked police car in Baltimore where he was playing Pokemon Go. Dude, that game is unbelievable. I saw people in Ann Arbor when we were at that restaurant.
Yeah, I was asking you, E, is it dying down at all? You think not?
I don't think that it is. Maybe it
How can
it is.
not, dude? How can
People
it
are
not
still
be dying?
playing for sure, though.
What are they getting out of it?
I don't know. Well, what do you get out of any video game? Nothing.
I just don't get what's so exciting about it. Oh, there's one. Roll the ball at it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think it's gonna last much longer, but I don't think it's definitely not gone right now. As Mike said, he saw people some trainers
were
out there
buried in their phone. People were like, and you can spot them a mile away because they're staring at their phone. And as they were, I was thinking as I saw them coming down the street, I was like, they're playing Pokemon Go. That's what they're doing. And as they walk by, I saw them. They're flicking the thing, trying to throw balls at things. And one of them's like, he mentioned the name of some character. And another guy walking the opposite way goes by and goes, what? He's like, yeah, he's right back there. He's right back there. And
my God.
So these guys are talking to each other in separate parties as they passed each other.
Nerds!
Yeah, it was crazy. Jennifer Smith, let's see, another teen ran her truck into a power pole.
Oh, yeah.
They think she was playing Pokemon Go, too. Jennifer Smith, a mother of two and founder of the StopDistractions.org.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said that was the one who drove. I thought you said that mother of two was the one who drove her car into something playing Pokemon Go.
No, she lost her mother in a crash. So I'm glad you're laughing in her face, E. A 20-year-old who was talking.
My
on the phone.
apologies.
Gang rapey.
My apologies to this young lady if she listens to this audio.
They say Snapchat is the worst, though. For whatever reason, the experts think Snapchat is the worst. We have a long way to go before we get the message out. Nearly 70% of teen drivers say they use apps while driving. When the teens were asked to rank the behaviors they consider the most distracting for a teen, 29% said alcohol, driving under the influence. 25% said writing or sending a text. 6% said looking at or posting on social media. Only 6%. Every day, more than 8 people are killed, and they say that number is definitely low because people, it's hard to prove what someone was doing, and most people that get into an accident don't want to admit, I was looking at a picture on my phone, so they don't admit it. Based on observations and crash data, the Safety Council estimates that about 1/4 of all crashes can be attributed to distracted driving connected with use of a cell phone. And I don't know if I believe this, though. Looking at your phone to read one text is the equivalent of driving the length of a football field with your eyes off the road.
Well, they can do it by simple math. I mean, see what speed you're going and how long you're looking at the thing.
Yeah.
But to me, that'd have to be on a highway. Like, if you're doing, 35 down Franklin or something, I don't. But it's still bad. I'm not justifying it, though.
Let's see. A single text increases your chances of crashing by at least 6 times. Matt Bovey knows this all too well. In June 2014, his wife Andrea took their children, who were 11 months old and 4 years old, for a little bike ride near their home. And at the same time, Chris Webber, I don't think, time out, Chris Webber.
C-Web.
Oh, wow.
I don't think it was that C-Web. A father of 2 himself decided to make a loan payment on his phone.
I'll make a loan payment. I'm sorry. I know someone died here, bro.
Well, he's not a procrastinator. We'll give him that. It hit him. I need to make that loan payment.
Multitask, baby.
And he says he looked down at his phone and then thunk.
Make a loan payment? Now,
Yeah.
Got some windshield time. I'll get some shit done.
now, God, you couldn't do that
Brutal.
when you got back. Like, you're obviously doing it on an app at that point or something. You couldn't wait till you were...
Yeah, so he just hears a thunk. He's like, I never saw them, her or the
Damn
girls.
it, that's brutal.
Isn't that terrible? Andrea Bove was killed. Her 4-year-old Claire was seriously injured, punctured lung on that little 4-year-old, and 5 broke ribs. She survived. The little sister wasn't hurt at all. The 11-month-old was fine. You think you take your eye off the road for a minute to read a text or check an app, but a split second took my wife and almost took my children.
Dude, I find myself, I'm not texting and doing apps and shit. I just find myself more and more distracted as I drive, though.
Yeah.
Like, just thinking about other shit, looking around. And
I know.
And I'm as guilty as anybody. You stopped at a light. Okay, fuck, I'm bored. Grab your phone, start
Is
looking
that
at shit.
a no-no, too?
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, that pisses me off because you can tell when someone's head's down in front of you and the
Right.
light turns green.
And what happens then, invariably, is, I got to go, but let me just look at one more thing, or let me finish that text,
Yeah.
So I've been guilty of that, but I won't just be going like 65 and jump on the text and start banging them out. But I'm distracted generally.
I am too, and I can get distracted by my radio. It used to just be like AM, FM. It's all you had to worry about was AM, FM in a lot of cars. And we got, cassettes and 8-tracks.
Dude, I'm with you, man.
CDs.
But with
you're hitting like
satellite.
source. Yeah, you're going from FM to your satellite and all this shit.
Yeah. Your
Yeah.
USB,
Well,
and
there's
now you're going to your phone. I mean,
I'm
it's
constantly writing stuff, too. Do you guys write stuff?
no, never. You're writing in the car, but you
See,
don't.
how is that any better? You son of a... I think that's
No,
worse.
here's the thing. I write while still looking ahead. But the thing is, my brain's not there. I'm looking
No.
ahead, but my brain is on, okay, what am I
What do
writing?
you write on?
Yeah.
Just
Note?
notes. Dude, I have a million thoughts going through my head, and if I don't write them down, I forget
Gotcha.
them.
Yeah. I blame partly the technology
hell
that
yes.
Google has too, because I tried to send actually you a text, Jay. I was on the road and you were texting me a bunch of stuff, and I was like, fuck, I'm going to be on the road for an hour. I want to just get this message back to Jay, let him know on blah, blah. And so I did that, hit the microphone thing. It was like, and now I start dictating on my phone. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm going to be in the car for a while. And then I'm like, I can't just send this off without double checking my
Yeah.
work, because I know it's going to make up
Yeah.
shit I didn't say.
Be like,
and I
I'm
don't-
going to be fried chicken for
Right.
a fortnight. And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, and I don't want to. I don't want Google misrepresenting my words and what I said. So then I find myself double checking it. And it's like, man, I fucked up that word. All right, at this red light, I'll fix it. It took me 40 minutes to send this goddamn text because I had to go and correct all the things that got wrong. So if the technology was better,
Blame it
maybe
on
this
the
wouldn't be a
tech.
problem.
Blame
So
it on the tech.
I blame the tech. Yeah.
Some nerd out there needs to get the audio to texting. You're right, a little better for
Yeah.
sure.
There's just too much going on, man. You know?
I know.
Too many
Yeah.
things like whipping your interest back and forth. And
Yeah.
Well, when you said satellite too, like that's the other thing. Like when you had your radio, and I don't have satellite. I wish I did, but I don't. But like your radio, you for the most part, you tended to stick to a 5 presets almost, where you kind of just go 1, 2. Okay, here's this music, here's sports, here's this. Okay, and just keep going. But with satellite, man, you could always be thinking like, dude, what's on the Stern channel? What's on the Jimmy Buffett channel? What's on the Fox News channel?
Have you really thought what's on the Jimmy Buffett channel?
Yeah, I've been listening to a little Jimmy. I've been on a Jimmy Buffett kick recently on Pandora. So
yeah,
but my point is, there's so much different music. There's so much different, like, there's way more choices. Even if you're just on Sirius Satellite and that or XM or whatever it is, and that's not even your phone.
I know it's a real problem. I don't know what you do about it though, because I feel the same way, Jay. I feel totally distracted. Even just, I don't know what it is.
I'm just trying to use the time, you know. I can't just be like, oh, I'll just zone out for 40 minutes and drive safely, you know. It's like, okay, no, I'm going to use this time to think about shit and figure shit out. And so then I get to where I'm going, oh, fuck, I don't even remember driving here. That's bad. I might as well have been texting.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say is the problem with those self-driving cars, is that our attention is so easily diverted that you just can't rely on humans to react at a moment's notice when it's like, because their whole thought is, yeah, the car's got this shit, and no, that it doesn't though. It's doing this, but you need to at a moment's notice be ready to jump in and take over when the car just goes, I'm done, I'm out, and turns it back over to you.
Confused.
I don't know what that means. I quit. You take it from here.
Yeah.
And then the car hands the controls back to you. Meanwhile,
I'm going to be sleeping.
You're napping in the back seat.
And then you just drill somebody.
The car sees a blue car, and it mixes with the sky, and it's like, I don't know what that is. I quit.
If that's the deal, I don't want any part of this. If I have to take over at a moment's notice, no.
Yes. So you're supposed to just sit there with your hands, and they say humans just aren't programmed like that. We get distracted easy, and we cannot be expected to be at the ready at any moment. Like, oh, it might fail. I better take over.
I'm not going to take it then. Like,
especially when they say 99.9% of the time it's doing what it's supposed to do, that we will absolutely 100% just get like comfortable with it.
Hell yes. And we sit on the passenger side.
We get comfortable. We get comfortable really fast. Like, oh wow, I made it to the mall without crashing. This thing's amazing. And then we just throw all our respect to it and just let it go. Like it's.
Speaking of cars, you need a low-price, super safe, and incredibly fun car for you or the kids, then head over to Zott Ford in Holly, where right now you can lease a new 16 Ford Focus for just $172 with zero due. Yes, that's $172 with zero due, folks. It's lower than the cable bill at Fady Manor. Hurry to Zott Ford at I-75 and Exit 98 before the smokin' summer deal ends. Also, surf their ingenious deals and massive inventory at ZottFord.com.
I think self-driving cars have two responsibilities. Get me home from the bar safely when I'm wasted, and if I'm way just too tired to drive, I can take a nap.
Yeah.
Like, that should be the goal of self-driving cars, period.
Or give me my 7 to 9 minutes, okay?
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah. But either way, you have to not be paying attention to the car.
Correct.
At all.
Correct.
It is a limo at this point. Did you see we've got a new Miss Teen USA?
I did see that. I saw the finalists. Gosh.
Diverse group.
Yeah. Tough to choose from. I don't know how you...
I don't know which one of the blonde-haired, blue-eyed beauties I would go with.
That is so crazy. They did this lineup. I guess they tweeted this out or something, and it is a lineup of the final 5, right?
These are your top 5 contestants.
They're your top 5, Miss Teen USA. They all look identical.
I mean, dude, it's not even... Like, I don't care. They're all cute, but you can... How you would tweet that out and be so oblivious to the fact that you are immediately going to have people pissed off at you. I mean, dude, they look like sisters.
Yeah, I guess there's 2 out of the 5 that jump out at me as, okay, they are different people as you really look at them.
Dude, which ones? Seriously, which ones do you think are different people?
The one on the left and the 2 on the left, the 2 leftmost, but the one in the middle to the right, the 2 to the right.
I think if you said these 2 were identical twins, I'd say, okay, sure. Identical twins, sure. And then this weird one was thrown in just for good
the one to
pleasure.
the left definitely has a different shaped face.
That is terrible, dude.
Not terribly different, though.
Not really at all. I mean, yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
It's
but
5 basic white girls.
And then the one that won Miss Teen USA is being slammed.
Yeah, which one won?
The white one.
The blonde-haired one.
Yeah, okay.
The blue eyes and the really, really white teeth.
Got it.
And the soft makeup. The pink lipstick. The sparkly outfit.
You're not getting it yet from us.
You can't tell which one? The one with the tweezed eyebrows.
The one in the middle? I don't know.
Anyway, she's Carly Hay, who's 18. She's from Tomball, Texas. And she was given the crown Saturday at
Don't Texas chicks always win these things? Seems like Miss USA and Miss America. It's always Texas.
Texas does have a good showing. I don't know how often Texas wins, but it does seem like Texas comes up in finals a lot.
Yeah.
She shortly after the pageant ended, a Twitter user posted a screenshot of tweets that included the N-word that she'd sent out some of her friends back in January of 2014 and July of 2013.
So they were just poised with this information.
Yeah,
Just waiting for her to, if she wins, send.
So one of them was like, watching Taken out with my nigga because she chooses, or without my nigga because she chooses to be with so-and-so. Feel special, bitch. And then I know I'm a comedian, and she throws the N-word. What are you talking about, nigga? I'm at home, N-word. Like, she's just throwing it around. I think they've blurted out, God forbid, we see what this combination of letters looks like on paper.
Yeah.
So they blurted out for all of our sakes. So I'm assuming she wrote AH. Maybe she wrote ER, though. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I think there is a difference, though. Many had taken to Twitter to express their concern that somebody had posted racially offensive sentiments, had just been billed as the ultimate role model for young women across America. Within hours of the tweets circulating on the internet, Kay appeared to acknowledge her error, but still didn't formally apologize. She wrote, through hard work, education, and thanks in large part to the sisterhood that I have come to know through pageants, I am proud to say that I am today a better person. Another post, she said, several years ago, I had many personal struggles and found myself in a place that is not representative of who I am as a person.
What do those struggles have to do with the wording of those tweets?
I guess you have to throw something out there when it gets thrown in your face. You're like, oh my God, I was in a bad place, and the only thing that made me feel better was tossing the N-word around. So I've grown a lot now that I'm 18.
Guess it's the only way you explain it. Hey, I've grown. Right?
Yeah.
So beyond that now.
I admit that I've used language publicly in the past, which I am not proud of, and there's no excuse for that. So,
but she just gave the excuse.
Will she be forgiven? Will she retain her crown?
No, she's white with blue eyes, dude. No, I think.
So we'll give it to the next second best white girl with blue eyes.
Yank that shit off her head. I am honored to hold this title, and I will use this platform to promote the values of the Miss Universe organization and and my own that recognize the confidence, beauty, and perseverance of all women or something.
They have 4 identical
God.
other chicks. Can they find one that didn't use the N-word in the last 3 years? Just give it to them.
Yeah, you're not going to be having that crown much longer, lady.
Lady.
I don't know why I said lady.
18.
Yeah, how did they pick? I don't even know how you pick a winner out of this group.
I know. They're friggin' identical.
You would think, though.
I guess, you know what? They go to an accordion runoff. I don't know. What was their skill? Did they have a skill?
Yeah, one of them juggled kind of.
Yeah.
One of them did a baton.
For
thing.
real?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just so dumb.
They're probably all dancers.
I would think there would be a not a committee formed, but there would be a team of research people that the first thing you would do would be to scrub people's Twitter accounts. You know what I mean? Go through someone's social media, just troll it. Go,
it's
okay,
is
there anything in here that we're going to be horribly embarrassed about or going to have to explain someday?
Maybe they did, but they only go back a year.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe those are screenshots that somebody saved, Maybe she scrubbed it. But yeah, that's very reasonable, dude. You'd think.
Yeah,
just what's coming down the pike here? Are we going to get slammed if we pick this blonde chick instead of that blonde chick?
Yeah.
Yeah, all things being equal, do we take this one?
Is this a case too of there are a lot of people that think that word has a much different meaning to people our age and older than it does to the younger generation of people. And you're talking about when not trying to excuse her, but when she made those, you can tell she's talking to friends. She's posting on Twitter. When she's saying
she's
that
talking to the
word,
world, she's posting on Twitter.
Oh, I know. But you're talking about a 14-year-old, 15-year-old. Not to excuse it, but you are. You're talking about a 14 to 15-year-old who isn't really capable of grasping that. Oh my God, the whole world is saying this.
She had no idea what aspirations she would have a few years later.
Right, a few brief years later, she's going to be running for such a prestigious crown. But there's no doubt. I've been out in parks and seen kids like calling each other that word, like white kids calling their black friends that word, and you're like, holy fuck, dude, that's crazy. I can't. But it just doesn't have the same almost meaning to them, and I wonder if that's this is a case of that where this is just tossed around in school, not as like as much of a racist thing as it is a term of endearment. And I don't know. I'm not trying to justify it. It just seems crazy to me that someone would throw that out there on a Twitter account unless they really thought that it was okay. You know what I mean?
She's just a dumbass.
Yeah, she could just be a dumbass.
Or a racist.
Or a racist. Yep. All on the table.
Good pointy.
Can't take anything off the table. I don't know. There's a did you see the Dallas weatherman?
I did, yeah.
Out
he
of a
said
gig
the word
now.
thug on social media.
Dude, it's getting so bad out there. It's just getting you're better off to just avoid commenting on anything.
Oh, if you're
anymore.
a public, yeah, dude, you can't get wrapped up in that shit. If you're a weatherman, you're in like the most vanilla position ever. You need to just go on there and deliver the. Oh my god, what did you bring us today, Phil?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to bring you some storms later in the week,
Yeah.
but I've got a nice
Phil.
sunny day. Well, I've given you 3 sunny days in a row.
I know. Well, we'll have a nice weekend anyways, Phil. Thanks. Back to you, Carolyn.
Hey, have you heard about the water skiing squirrel? No, dude, if you're in that position, what are you doing jumping on social media making any sort of political comment?
Yeah. Well, this guy he's a weather guy for a Dallas AM radio station. He ended up having to resign on Friday after writing a Facebook post about the DNC that dismissed black people slain by police as thugs. God forbid. Bob Gooseman, the chief meteorologist for KRLD AM, rained down rage. Really? Did he rain down rage? Really? After the
Just
DNC
a play on the weather, dude.
Yeah, I guess. But after
Figured you'd appreciate that. He rained down rage.
No, I don't though. I see what they're
the
doing.
storm's a brewing, Mike.
He's walked into a storm, hasn't he? He was pissed about the Mothers for the Movement, the moms that were up on stage. You know, Michael Brown's dumb mom and Sandra Bland's, all those chicks. Their impassioned talk moved Gooseman to go online and complain. As many of you have probably noticed, I've stayed away from politics on Facebook. You should have just stopped right there, Bob.
But-
Send, and you're done for the night. But the DNC parading the mothers of slain thugs around on their stage has me furious.
Gooseman.
Yeah. 6 shares later, and the goose is cooked. Goose. The DNC, let's see, he eventually deleted the post. One of those, oh shit, oh, just a couple comments,
My
don't look
goodness.
good. What have I stepped into?
People aren't agreeing with me.
Local started blasting him on social media. 2 days later, the station announced he'd resigned, effective immediately. Fuck out of here, Gooseman. Gooseman defended himself in a comment he posted to the Dallas News. The weatherman insisted in his post that he had no idea that calling slain blacks thugs would be read as racist. I believe that, actually. I believe that there are people that wouldn't know. That's a new one. That's a new one. The dog whistle, they're calling these. Like coded words, dog whistle is what they're calling.
Is this a microaggression?
It's not a microaggression, but this has gotten legs of recent. If you're not paying a ton of attention to what's going on with this stuff, you could miss the whole dog whistle thing with coded language like thugs.
Yeah, it's possible.
Ghetto is another one that you can get in trouble for. So I do believe that. Not to give him a way out at all, but I could see that where you're like, dude, I had no idea. I thought everyone called them thugs.
Right.
They're black guys, for Christ's sakes. They're thugs. We all agreed. Like a year ago, we all agreed, right?
That was my most
Where did
recent.
everybody go? Where is everybody? There are thugs. They live in a ghetto. Where is everyone? He's on an island by himself, just going fuck. You know, and the goose is out of a gig. Poor goose.
Goose Island.
I was angry at the DNC and used these mothers to that the DNC used these mothers to garner votes. That was it. I used the word thugs in my post, but I thought a thug was just a violent person. The definition of thug does not mention any race. And then they'll say I talked to a black guy I know, an acquaintance, and he told me that what he feels like when he hears a word in reference to African American individuals, but I had no idea.
How stupid would you feel admitting that?
Yeah.
I'm so out of touch. I had no idea somebody could draw that.
He apologized for his comments, and he says he's got no plans to go back into broadcasting.
A lifetime of predicting the weather.
I know.
Somewhat wrong, and he just throws it all aside with one racist comment.
Chucks the whole thing out the window. If you're doing, 50 years old and you're doing weather on an AM, I mean, it's not like there was a ton left for him to,
Weather on an AM, JR, and what's it called? Those are
I
big
know,
stations.
I know, but I
Come
just
on,
feel
Mike.
like if you're going meteorologist,
What's
you need
950?
to be on
Why am I
TV.
drawing a blank?
WWJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Weather and traffic on the 8s?
I know. My
Come on,
God,
man.
how would I ever know what the weather
For
was
decades.
without
Weather and traffic on the 8s. Don't even get me
Dude,
started.
when you listen to that,
Hate it.
channel, I don't know why. It's been forever since I have, but for some reason, like a month or so ago, someone was with my car, my phone was dead. I had to listen to radio. There's nothing else on. It's like, dude, they do that weather and traffic, and by the time they're done with the weather and traffic,
You're back
they're
into weather
5
and
minutes. I mean,
Take a quick commercial break, and you're back with weather and traffic.
dude, I remember one time. I remember telling you it was back when we were doing. This is a while ago, actually. Now I think about it, 'cause it was back when we were doing nights here, and for some reason, I remember my station got locked on one station for some reason for a while. Like I could
locked
not.
on 950?
Yes, I couldn't
Fuck.
put. I couldn't put a
It's a
CD.
constant loop.
I couldn't put a CD in, and I couldn't freaking change the channel. So it was on 950 for some reason. And I remember I would drive home from Mike's, and it's about a half hour or so. And so I'd catch the weather and traffic 3 different times.
Oh, my God.
And then I'd hit the traffic, and then I'd hit Wix and be like, well, again, clear sailing to 996. I'm like, yeah, same as it was at midnight, as same as it is at 1 in the morning. Like, dude.
Yeah, that's a tough one to get stuck on.
Yeah, that's not a good one. Not a good one.
Clear sailing still on I-96 East. I'm like, yeah,
I
God.
can't believe that's still a sellable content in today's world.
Yeah, with all the old people, though,
I know. Can they die off already? I mean, can we get to something
Dude,
better
the baby
now?
boomers, we're about to hit a huge influx of them. Get ready.
Yeah.
Buckle up, my friend.
What do you mean?
Just the baby boomers are
Yeah, but
enormous.
Aren't baby boomers?
No,
I mean,
because
my
you know what,
parents
my
are
dad-
in tune big time with what's going on with technology.
But it sounds like your dad was
My
always a
dad.
technology person. My dad's up on technology, but I don't think at a point where he might listen to he might turn on 950 still and hear.
Hell yes, my parents. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yes.
My dad's only and 60, so I don't know how old.
I might hit 950 right on.
Well, I get it if you're driving down the road and you don't have access to your phone. You don't
device.
want to be that guy.
As we just talked about distracted driving.
I don't know. It's just, for
Going through a
me,
red
it's
light.
something I just check before I even hit the road. Like, I'll check traffic. I don't ever need them. Like, it's more immediate on my phone if there's a traffic issue. I mean, it'll pop up while I'm driving. Shit, accident up ahead 3 miles.
Yeah, it's
You just
And
know.
the traffic
it's
is
immediate.
Isn't Homer's famous line? The traffic report will get me out of this one.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not
traffic
real helpful.
is even one thing to me, but okay, whatever. You're in your car, I guess. The weather on the 8th, couldn't they do the weather like once an hour, if at all, by the way? The weather is the biggest one to me. Who in the hell cannot just see what the weather
And
is?
at the end of the day, what does it matter? I mean, you're doing
I
what you're
know.
doing. Seriously.
Like when you were going to when I was going
Very
to,
few times where the weather is really going to affect what you're going to do. Like most days, you're doing what you have to do.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And even when I was going to the Michigan game, for example, when I referenced that it ended up being nice, or not Michigan game, but the soccer game this Saturday, I looked
You're
at my
going
phone.
anyway.
Right. I looked at my phone. I'm like, well, this is going to be an iffy day. Well, I hope it works out, I guess. But
Yeah.
well, I was just about to head down to the soccer game, but I got in the car and 950 told
Fuck
me,
these tickets I paid for.
yeah, 950, you just said it's going to rain.
Well, it's so that you know what to wear, E.
Okay, I know.
Is that what the main thing
You're
is
in
for?
your
So you know
car.
what to wear?
I don't know.
Unless it's like a massive snowstorm coming through, like then I get it. You don't want to be on the road or stuck. But if it's just rain and it's going to be
I don't know
whatever.
how they do
like,
it,
dude,
personally. I don't know how they do it. When
I
you
don't
listen to
either.
950, and they do it in, long hour shifts, every hour repeating the same. And now here's the money on 15 and 45, or I think that sports is 15 and 5. It doesn't
That
matter.
shit's not all taped. They're not just hitting buttons.
No, you'll hear them, mildly.
Some of them are. The big stations probably have someone there doing it. I don't know. I've never worked at an AM, but yeah, I don't know.
E was at AMs.
Well, 950, not 950. I'm pretty sure. I mean, maybe there's times
You notice
when
little
they-
differences?
Yes, I've noticed subtle differences in the reporting of the Tigers game, or because they'll in sports in 15 and 45.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to say, well, now they're in the 5th inning, or
Right.
blah blah blah.
Anyway, I don't know how we got there.
The weatherman.
Oh, Bob the
Goose.
Gooseman. Yeah. Sticking with TV, Roger Ailes, spoken very highly of, well-respected pig, if you will, and more people are coming out. There was a article in New York Magazine, a rather lengthy article in New York Magazine about that chick is pretty fucking hot with Megyn Kelly there. Mm-hmm. You see her? Mm-hmm. Linda Loon is her name.
Another on air, or she's behind the scenes?
She's behind the scenes kind of chick. She was a director of booking, placed a call to a law firm hired by 21st Century Fox to investigate sex harassment against that dude. And she told lawyers that she'd been harassed by Ailes for more than 20 years, and that executives at Fox News had known about it and helped cover it up, and it's ruined her life. But
She's found a way to go on for
Yeah.
20 years working at the same place.
right, they did cut her a check, I believe, for $3.1 million for silence.
Found a way to move on.
Yeah, so
Somehow, some way.
most of the women
How courageous.
see. Most of the women didn't. They were just like, ugh, gross, and they walked out of the hotel rooms
Yeah.
when he'd invite them or whatever. This chick didn't, and she stuck around to just
Did
play
she get
play
the,
games.
She got the Ailes Panoose?
Sort of.
What do you mean, sort of?
Well, he didn't just. I mean, it was very businesslike. It sounds like he wanted you to blow him and then leave, kind of.
She was blowing that dude?
Yeah,
God
yeah, I know.
damn it.
She's not proud of it now. She's not. So this is the account of her as they've done, like I said, a rather lengthy. Gabrielle Sherman did a rather lengthy piece in New York Magazine. She thought it would help advance her career.
She's blowing that guy.
I know. It did help her for her career for a time. At her peak, she earned $250,000 a year.
As a booking agent.
Yes, as an event planner at Fox. An event planner.
How do you get that job?
Well,
$250,000, baby.
she was basically paid $250,000 to blow him.
No. We don't want to shame anybody. We don't want to put anybody on the spot. If it looks funny, we go over and say,
I wonder how well the events were run or coordinated. Like, was there a team underneath her? Was it literally just he was blowing this dude? You know what I mean? Was it
I think
like,
it's a kind of a combination of both until 2011 when finally they cut ties and they gave her a $3.15 million severance agreement that includes an ironclad non-disclosure agreement. So how is she talking about this now? Couldn't they go after her for that
Yeah.
$3 million bucks? She first met Ailes in '88 in D.C. at George H.W. Bush's presidential campaign. So she was 28, single. He's 50, and she's backstage with them, looking at some of the commercials they're going to start airing to promote him for president. And she's like, "Wow, I love those commercials.
I love the Swift boat ad.
I'd love to learn how to do those." And so, so this creep's like, "Well, if you ever need some help, feel free to call me. I'd be glad to help." And so she does. She calls him, and he called her back. He said he was in D.C. and asked if she wanted to come by his Washington office for an interview before he flew home to New York. She brought a copy of her resume, listing her title as office manager. She's like, "Well, we've already got an office manager. We need one of those." So.
Do you need a resident dick sucker?
I don't know what we could do with you. I mean, you're hot, but and then he starts going, "So where are you from? How do you get along with your parents?" And then he offered to take her out to dinner, which is a great sign in any job interview. And so he goes to drop her off after dinner and just starts tonguing her. She's just like, "Okay, whatever." And then he hands her a wad of cash. Because she was bitching, like, "Oh, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills." And so he makes out with her, throws her a bunch of cash.
I don't know how I'm going to pay.
I got an idea. This loon. After that, Ailes called her with an offer. He put her on what he called a $500 monthly retainer to do research. She walked into the hotel room when he asked, and it's like, "Oh, what do you think of Bush's speech?" She's like, "Yeah, I want to learn how to do that." And then he's like, "Well, put on this black garter and stockings that he made her buy." And she did. He called it the uniform. "Go over there and dance for me." So
He likes that. Like I think there's times where he likes to, it seems like he must just be jerking off himself or something. Like it's like Jay pointed out. Remember, it doesn't always involve them.
Well, who knows what happened after that? She
Right.
probably danced her way over to his dick.
Probably.
Sure,
yeah.
she did.
she hesitated when he was like, dance for me, hesitating. He's like, stop, time out. Listen, Lori, if you're going to be my girl, my eyes and ears, if you're going to be someone I can depend on in Washington, dance for me. She's like, okay. She starts dancing. He got a video camera.
Can you imagine how that dancing, like, once you know this person, like Jay said it before, once you know this person doesn't really want to do it,
starts doing the running man, starts doing the wave, the worm gets on the ground. Really sexy.
Right.
He just wants to see him jiggle a little bit, basically. When she finished dancing, Ailes told her for some reason to get down on her knees in front of him, and then he put his hands on her temples. He began speaking to her slowly and authoritatively, as if he were some kind of Svengali. Tell me you will do what I tell you to do when I tell you to do it, and any time, any place I call, no matter where I call you. Do you understand? You follow orders. If I tell you to put on the uniform, what are you going to do, Lori? What are you going to do? She then said, his voice dropped to a whisper. What are you, Lori? Are you Roger's whore? Are you Roger's spy? Come over here. And then he is like, yeah, blow me. And that was always his MO. Hands on her temples.
Yeah.
And then
guide it in.
Yeah. Yep. Didn't want to crash landing. Wanted to get it right on the runway. Yeah. After that, Loon said she regularly met him in hotels for sex encounters. He asked her to buy a boombox so she could bring music to dance to, and then he always left cash for her. In the spring of '96, Ailes recruited Loon to work on the launch of Fox News, and so she was a guest relations staffer for a while. At first, Loon didn't see much of Ailes at Fox, but after the network was up and running, all of a sudden the hotel meetings resumed, and she was back to hands on temples girl. They met in afternoons, usually at the DoubleTree, sometimes at the Renaissance. There was no affair, no sex, no loves. He would just give her cash and make her blow him. And people in Fox News were like, yeah, that's...
Would you say no affair, no sex?
Yeah.
How is that not an affair and sex? I mean...
Because he wouldn't lay her down and like bang her. They didn't. I mean, it was very strict.
Oh yeah, Bill Clinton taught us that oral sex is not sex.
That's exactly
right.
So anyway, this goes on to detail. It's like I said, rather lengthy, but it goes on to detail how much like people in the building at Fox News were just like, yeah, whatever's going on with those fucking weirdos. I don't know. They're like, do you remember Loon? You know, this chick, and people are just like, yeah,
Sorta.
Nobody really knows what she did around here. Dude, she's paid $250,000 and then a $3.1 million signing to go away.
Wow.
I mean, I'd almost blow the guy for that. I got to be honest with you. For that kind of cash?
If you're talking about a yearly salary, and then after a certain amount of years, you just get 3.1 to
I'm
go.
out of this one. I'm out. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm not going down this road again.
Yeah. Well, around this time, Bill O'Reilly was accused by a Fox producer named Andrea Macris of engaging in unwanted phone sex with her. He settled for $10 million with her.
I remember that. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, I will never speak of this again. Done with it. And everybody's like, well,
that's
why don't
right.
you answer a question? What was that? Never speaking of it again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I paid my $10 million. I did my part. That's crazy. Anyway, she kind of ends up losing her mind and going off the deep end. And the lawyers now are like, she's like, I think people are spying on me at my house in Los Angeles. And they're like, yeah, you're going to have to tone that shit down again if we're going to use you as a witness going forward for this case. You can't come off as batshit crazy, which you're kind of sounding like right now because she's on like meds and psych meds.
boy.
And she's writing letters to Ailes looking for help. You know, he's like, bitch, I gave you $3 million. What do you want? Leave me alone.
Blow through that already?
Yeah.
We have some email, Mike.
What do we got?
Well, before we get to that, got to let you know about our buddy Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial. He's offering our listeners a great special if you're one of the next 10 listeners to make an appointment for a no-cost, no-obligation portfolio review with Merck. He'll give you a $50 gift certificate to your favorite restaurant. It means at no cost, he'll meet with you, review your financial investment situation, give you recommendations. If you've been thinking about calling Mark, now is the time to do it. Call 248-626-2000 and ask for Mark.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Mike writes in, hey guys, I love the show and I've been listening for a long time. I use the Amazon link, Amazon. I use it often to buy a plethora of items while I work at my dead-end job. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Mike. Dead-end job. Anyway, to follow up on the red Boba Fett missile conversation.
Boba Fett. Yeah, I remember it well.
I remember having a Battlestar Galactica little mini fighter ship that shot a red missile out of the front of fuselage. I remember that very ship.
I definitely had toys that shot little plastic
Remember
toys.
Shogun Warriors? They were like
No.
those 3-foot high guys, and they had like shit that would come out of their fingers and everything. Yeah, little spring loaded.
Okay.
Shogun Warrior, dude, those were awesome.
Why don't I remember those? Maybe if I saw one.
This thing had a missile out of the front of the fuselage. My mom stole the red missile from me when I was at school and mailed it to some company in order to prevent me from choking my little brother with it. I was so pissed, I tell you.
Mailed it to some company.
She told me that it was inappropriate and possibly a choking hazard, so I shouldn't have such nonsense in the house. She said that she saw something about it on the Donahue show. Fucking Phil. There's the Shogun Warriors. You don't remember those?
Yeah, sort of. They look like Transformers.
Dude, they're big, though. And they were the precursor to Transformers.
What am I remembering correctly? There was some toy that you hit at the top of its head and something shot. That wasn't these guys, was it?
No. These guys had, I think, buttons that you pushed and they'd come flying out.
Oh, his arm raises. I remember him on the right. That arm went up and you pulled a lever on his back and it shot. I do remember that guy.
Yeah, the guy on the left is the one I remember most. But yeah, they were badass.
I remember that red. I think I had that red and blue guy on the right.
And then was it Voltron that came after that, where they were like all the lions, they fit together into one giant robot guy? Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Whatever. One day, they had an address on the Donahue show to which she could send the missile, and in return, they sent me a shitty little Jaguar Matchbox car. It was the stupidest toy ever, says Mike. I wound up trading it into the fat neighbor kid for some Big League Chew. It was grape flavored, so I guess it was okay.
That's a good trade.
But I still think it was funny that my parents are more concerned about the choking hazard than they were about my brother and I shooting each other with our little BB guns. Anyway, thanks for all the hard work putting the show together, Mike. Thank you, Mike.
Wow, someone made out like a bandit. If there was a nationwide recall of those things and people just sent those toys to him, there's someone sitting on a pile of Bobo Fats.
Well, of red missiles, it sounds like. They just wanted the red missiles.
Yeah, but I bet there were countless people that sent the whole toy back in there.
Maybe. Podcast Legends, listening to number 632 email segment. This is from Christian. Heard the question of whether or not boobs are a result of the maternal or paternal genes. I have two friends from my martial arts group who are sisters, and they both have amazing butts but are only sporting B cups at best. Over the years that I've known them, they've joked about how they must have gotten this big butt, small boob gene from their dad, since their mom is the exact opposite, having an unimpressive butt and large cans, not the headphones. Hopefully this will help you in your investigation. Now get off my land! Go on, now get! Says Christian. Interesting. So it comes from the dad.
He's just guessing that. We don't know for sure.
That's what his investigation has shown.
Yeah. Well, at least someone investigated this.
Now this is an interesting one. I won't name the company. This is something we come across every now and then.
Gross.
I know. Was working on a new sponsor.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes you get pawned off to different people in the process, depending on the size of the company. Sometimes you get put with an agency or something. Mm-hmm. And so I'm dealing with this guy, and
oh no. What did you do?
Nothing. He's a dude from Cleveland, and he's representing this larger company that everybody knows, which shall go unnamed. And he says, just send me some information about ads and this and that. So I sent him some info, and I hadn't heard from him for a few days. So I follow up. I say, hey, is there anything else I can provide you? We want to set up a phone call. He says, hello, Jay. After reviewing the show's content,
oh no,
Company X will not allow its company to run ads on stations or shows that fall in the, quote, controversial category. And this show would fall under that label. Therefore, we will no longer be pursuing this opportunity. Thank you for assistance in this matter. I did, however, take some time to listen to the show myself. It's highly entertaining.
Oh, no.
Jason.
Oh, that's
Thanks,
funny.
Jason. I mean, for what it's worth, we appreciate that.
What do you think is so controversial about our show?
I don't know. Do you think he heard the cow banging one?
I was thinking E's toes, but
where we were running through.
It's probably
E. You son of a bitch!
It's probably
Did you ruin this for us?
You ruined a sponsor for us.
The toes, you just
dude. Those toes were gross.
The hideousness of that foot will haunt my dreams forever.
It could just be his general retarded nature.
It could be.
You know what I mean?
It's highly offensive. Were you talking about banging your cousin? That's the one.
Dude. I bet he listened during that.
God damn it,
You were talking about your hot cousin, E. That's controversial. That's a controversial statement.
The definition of controversial.
You don't need to just scream out the N-word to be controversial nowadays, E. Having incest going on in your family will get you the controversial tag, too.
Sorry.
Thanks, dude.
Sex with livestock? Really? E?
He was pulling up vagine pictures the other day. prolapsed
he towed the line. I mean, if you listen back to that, he was like, "Yeah, I might bang a cow. I mean, this vagine kind of looks inviting." You at least can understand where they're coming from, right? E?
I'm siding with Jason on this one.
I think those are my words.
I wouldn't advertise with the E's show either.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal, controversial to say the least.
What are you gonna do? I guess.
Yeah, we're not for everybody. That's true. No question.
According to
about
the commercial.
Yeah,
but
we would have sent some people your company's way, but I get it. I wouldn't.
That's right.
Jay and I don't like being
there's
associated.
Some very
either.
loyal listeners who would have liked your company's products, but okay, too controversial. Sorry.
Sorry.
Hey, with that, Mike, we will call it a day. We'll save the rest for tomorrow.
All right, let's do that then. Let's get out of here. Thanks everybody for listening to the show. Continue sending in the emails, donating, using the Amazon link.
Follow us on Twitter at Big E Detroitcast, at J Detroitcast, at Walters Radio.
Yes, exactly. Find us on social media in general. We're out there. All right, with that, we'll bid you guys adieu and have a good day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.